All right, it's happening. The Imperfect Score reunion. Welcome back to the Nightly Kickback, the new web show that has blown up and become an immediate success. We obviously have millions of viewers right now, and that's really incredible. Tonight, an unprecedented collection of significant individuals have joined me to discuss our amazing achievements, which are bountiful and adoration worthy. They are part of a movie that was like my first big project here. I think the first full-length film I'd ever been a part of, and it still is amazing to this day. Say hi to the cast and crew of The Imperfect Score. What's up, guys?
Yo.
How we doing?
Hello.
Obviously, they're all bursting with energy right now and excitement at being present on this show at the moment. So based on my screen, which everyone is watching, let me introduce each of these people one by one. In the top left-hand corner, we have Jake Klubeck. He was the director, class of 2016. Then you have me, top middle, the most important person in this whole thing, hence why I'm in that spot. Top right, Sydney M. Fish, class of 2016, was a producer for us and a script supervisor. Then we have Connor Boyer. He was the class of 2018. This was the first of two movies he did for us. He actually returned for There's Something Wrong with Katie. Then we have Riley Culberson in the middle, otherwise known as the Princess of Laceria. She was also class of 2016. Then we have Zakia, who was my partner in crime, my co-collaborator on coming up with this project back in the day. We have Anna Deal, who was class of 2019. She was a production assistant. I think she did a lot of sound recording. We have Liam Lawler, who was our cinematographer. Brought the spice with the lens. We had Colin Barrett. He was our lead actor. Liam was 2017, right? I believe, class 2017. Yeah. Colin was class of 2016. Colin, current and future rap star, movie star. And then the bottom we have Alex Grunike, class of 2016. Also, he was a producer, and I think a lot of other roles. Did you do sound stuff too?
Yeah, I did. I synced a lot of the sound of all that, like pre-production.
Yes, and a lot of you guys did like editing work as well.
Yeah, and I like worked on some shot lists and whatnot.
Exactly. So hey, thanks for doing this for me. I'm sure you guys all have like more interesting lives to be attending to at the moment.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
So what's cool is today, Friday, it's the 4-year anniversary of this movie premiering, like the exact date, which I think is pretty cool. Four Makes a Movie is now in its 5th year. And I think a lot about the difference between what we do now versus what we did with you guys. If one of you were to come, and Zakia can back this up, and like see our production these days, you would probably get angry at us for the amount of organization and planning there is. Like, kids get binders with every day broken down by scene and the responsibilities. Man. There's like different units for the wardrobe and the equipment. We had 18 kids this year, 16 kids this year. Where we did it was super shoot from the hip.
Did a good job, though.
It did an amazing job.
Best job.
Yeah.
Do you guys? Yeah, let's talk about. I would love to like hear some memories of, or anything you guys remember from how incredibly disorganized yet exciting it was.
I remember the night before the premiere. The night of the premiere, you ran into Johnson Art Center.
Let's talk about the premiere. That's a perfect way to start it. Yeah.
And you look like you hadn't slept in like 3 days. You're like, it's still rendering. It's still.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
He was tripping. The whole room was packed. Like, the whole auditorium was packed.
And we were up in that top room sweating bullets because it was like still rendering and people were taking their seats. And I don't think it finished. I don't think it worked correctly.
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't work right.
Like,
It didn't work
The
right.
last 10 minutes just like cut off, so we had like a panic in the room upstairs, and I think we just like spliced it where it was like the last 10 minutes was his own video file because it was all we had time for.
No, we showed it the week after. Like,
Yeah.
like,
Oh, it was after spring break. We had to come back and film still.
Yeah.
Because we didn't
yeah.
finish Wintrum. We didn't finish filming during Wintrum.
Yeah, the movie was not finished.
Yeah.
And I remember I think I had to cut sports out. Like I couldn't come to one sports. I was also crippled at the time. But Kelly was just like, you have to come. Film. Oh yeah, I remember that.
First of all, we're gonna get back to this, but Cameron Boyer has joined us. Cam Master Boy Toy himself.
Yeah, Master Boy Toy, classic character.
Yeah, but yeah, Riley, we definitely did not finish. And I'm pretty sure too, like, didn't the last scene where you guys are all in the classroom, the main cast, I don't even think we showed that at the premiere. I think it was just the bit with Colin and Cameron.
There were like two versions.
Mm-hmm.
Like one that we showed, and then like one that was actually finished.
Yeah.
And then there was a scene I had to do in the boiler room, but I got my hair cut and I was out of a cast and I looked completely different from when we started Wintrum and then from after spring break. So
Yeah, but that's why we put you in a hoodie, though. Remember that? We put you in a hoodie and glasses. So.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
That's why she was wearing the hoodie in that scene. I will say my favorite behind the scenes detail is that Riley tore her ACL like a week or two before.
yeah.
Got the cast on.
And so the whole movie, your character, as I rewatched it, Jake helped me realize this. You're never walking in a scene.
Yeah, you never actually walking or only sitting.
You're always standing or sitting still.
No, I had to push Cameron in the library. I remember
That's the only.
pretend to.
Yeah, and you're like swinging your big stiff cast leg like behind him as you're dragging him out.
Yeah.
Do you remember what the line was that we came up with to explain it?
When I threw him.
No, why your ACL was torn.
Oh, from studying too hard.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Tore your ACL because you were studying too hard.
Yeah, I don't.
I think the exact line was like, I blew out my ACL studying for some final.
I need to rewatch this.
Yeah, you guys.
really
not
do.
even these people, but like everyone should rewatch this movie. So I've told a few of you this, but the movie came out like 4 years ago, and obviously the program has done a lot of great things since then. But I still think the one movie I get the most consistently positive feedback for is this one. Like there are still kids who went to the school around this time. They're like, "Yo, the Imperfect Score was so awesome." There's still teachers that are like, "That's still my favorite one." And then when the new kids watch it, they're always like, "That was funny." Like they like genuinely respond to this one a lot. I think there was a lot of like, and again, this is something we were kind of doing off the cuff, but I think we captured something.
That's why I think it was so good, because we were going at it like so naturally
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of going with the flow that day. And I don't know, like that was definitely a dope experience. The way we pulled that off was, I don't know how we did it because we all got ADD. So like,
I also think too, it was also I think it's all the.
Wait, Jake, hold on. Cameron, we need to explain what's going on here.
yo, stop this video, bro. I can't do this.
Everyone's on an ADHD.
I can stop the video.
Cam Master Boy Toy is, I think, pranking us again. Yeah, we're gonna.
Should I change the other background?
Oh, the background's fine. It's more you like
There we go.
shaking like you're.
Like a bobblehead.
Yeah.
Yeah. look cool. I thought it looked cool.
Look like when like you catch a Pokemon, not catch one, but like
And it pops in.
yeah, it's just like a background.
Yeah, but what I think what made it so special is that we all had really good chemistry between each other, and that's why it flowed so well. Because
Right.
like no matter what, we just went out there and we were like, all right, let's go do this one thing, and then I was like letting you improvise, and that's how we ended up doing the hotline bling stuff, and then that's how Riley ended up like sitting the whole time because I let her sit. Like it wasn't really structured,
That's crazy though.
and I thought it was super.
It was
Unlike
just like a random group
Yeah.
of people.
right,
Yep.
unlike Cameron in the
Yeah, kind of know each other.
And there was, I think what's great is we were really open to like a lot of improvisation. But to be fair, there was a pretty excellent script we were building off of. I do just want to say that
Oh yeah.
first.
I think we fell into our roles really well too, just kind of like naturally. Like if something needed to be done, like we realized we're never gonna have enough time, so like things were just executed pretty quickly.
Mm.
And people were like filling in and stuff that like wasn't easy.
Yeah, everyone was super game for it, for sure. I think my favorite moment that came out of like just sheer on the spot improv was the final scene with Colin and Cameron, where Colin's upset and Cameron's consoling you in the dorm. Do you remember that?
Wait, that's when we were on the video chat with is that a different scene when we were on the video chat?
No, not that scene. The scene where hold on, Cameron's like chatting me as I'm talking to you. No, where it's at the very end after you've gotten caught and you're in the dorm room and Cameron comes up next to you. He's like, "What's wrong, man?" And you're like, "What do you mean what's wrong?" And then Cameron tells you he's that they had turned themselves in as well. You don't remember what I'm talking about?
It's ringing a bell, but like I haven't seen the movie.
It was in Bailey. It was in the common room of Bailey, and it was like in May.
Oh, that's the big like capsule. Looking
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Your dorm.
Yes, my dorm. And it was like, okay, yeah, like you're sitting there all bummed, and Cameron comes, he's like, "What's wrong?" And you're like, "You know what's wrong? I'm screwed." And Cameron's like, "Well, we all turned ourselves in as well." And it was because we needed some scene to transition from you getting caught to the final classroom scene because it felt too jarring. And I remember with YouTube, we were like, "Just go come up with something," and that's what you came back with. And it's actually like this really sweet scene. It's like very authentic and it's really thoughtful, and you guys were both really natural in it. And it wasn't in the script at all. You guys just kind of whipped it off.
And the last scene was like me in the classroom taking a test that I
Yes.
couldn't do because I couldn't do it before.
It was
Yes.
the clock, because you like saw the clock and then had a little music video. And then
Yeah, we're gonna talk about I want to talk about that opening scene because as I rewatched it, I still think it's like the coolest, maybe 10, like the first 15 minutes of this movie, I think it's still the coolest 15 minutes we've ever done. Not only because it has that great opening with the security guards running in slow motion.
Oh, Jason was his name, right?
Spencer?
Oops.
Close. He has a Jason vibe.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
it was a shot in the dark.
And then and there's that like Colin coming into frame with his hands up, and then like we hear him say, "I stole the answers," and then those incredible opening titles that were made by Zakia.
Yeah, those were so good.
Yeah, I drew all of you guys. That was fun.
And then that classroom scene where Colin's in there and everyone's coughing and tapping their pencil. And you know what? We'll show it on the thing when we're all watching this live. But it was really good. We can watch it right now. Let's do that.
Hold up, yeah. Just share your screen.
Right, because I remember that.
It's like genuinely awesome.
What have you guys been doing? Like, have the intros been kind of similar as far as credits, or like is it different? 'Cause I know I haven't watched a lot of the.
Oh, you haven't watched every single one, Liam? Great, thanks. Puzzlehead, Zakia definitely outdid herself. She did all this 3D modeling for these really cool opening credits.
That probably is my best title.
I think that's your best one too.
Yeah.
For Katie, we just did words. We didn't do anything special. And then last year's for the Chumps, the kids came up with this really awesome opening title concept. It's about kids who get picked on a lot. So it's like they did a cover of they did an acoustic cover of What a Wonderful World, and it keeps cutting back to like the main characters getting the shit kicked out of them, basically, and it works really well. Here, let's put on this. This is the opening scene of the movie. I'm pretty sure this was what gave me the idea for the whole movie. Like I saw this in my head.
You have 30 minutes left.
Turn me up a little bit. Finna freestyle with this joint. Hold up. In my zone, man, I've been coming up. Okay. Ain't no joke, man, I've been counting up. Counting up while you looking up. Yeah. In my zone, man, I've been coming up. Look, hold up, I see you froze cause my pigment. No disguise, I'm just hella different. Hella ignorant when we kick it, addicted like crack, so I might never quit it. I'm on your ass like a newborn, pull up in a snowstorm, get your wire lukewarm. Little boy, you been warned, warned about this and about that. Wanna never slip up on a Snapchat. In my zone, man, I been coming up. Ain't no joke, man, I been counting up. Counting up while you looking up. In my zone, man, I been counting up. Whoa.
Colin, your test, please.
I thought we had 30 minutes left.
Yeah, 30 minutes ago.
Oh, shit.
Still so good.
That holds up so
You guys
well.
all should have watched Colin's face. Watching
Yeah, I did. Colin, let's talk about you, because you had a great reaction during that whole thing.
Yo, what? That was a bad song.
Great! Are you
Good,
kidding?
come on.
That
Come on!
That shred.
Wow.
That
Ooh,
shred.
Oh my god.
That shred.
That
slap.
I still think that opening rules.
It's lit, but like, wow, who? Like, you sit there and think about like, who were you? Like,
Smooth the artist.
oh,
Move the artist days.
Yeah, everyone called you Smooth.
that's still my name.
Yeah, I was gonna
but,
say,
like,
are you not smooth anymore?
Back in the day.
no.
Nah, he goes by just Colin.
Oh my god.
But with like 7 L's.
That's unacceptable.
That record is just like, cause I remember for the Hotline Bling one, I cooked that up in like 5 minutes because we was doing the scene with.
That was fun. The Hotline Bling was fun.
You cook it up, but
So the Hotline Bling song, I made a list of notes as I was rewatching this, and and then I made a sub list called "How Did I Not Get Fired?" of like things I did that should have gotten me fired, and at number 1 on that list was your Hotline Bling rap, because I just had this nightmare of the administration sitting me down and being like, "You're one black kid and you had him sing about chicken wings and Kool-Aid," and I was like, I'm so done. But I didn't tell you to do any of that. That was all you.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it was all my idea. I don't know why I went that route, but like, I did.
I think for you, it was like you just were hungry. It was like a perfect. It's perfect in the story. It's like, yeah, of course you would drift off and dream about like food,
Right,
but it just.
was like 12 when we recorded that.
But from an institution that's always super sensitive to not seeming racist, I was like, I'm done because now.
I didn't pick up on that at all. Like, didn't cross my mind because I feel like that's something I would joke with you about. But
Yeah.
And then it just passed. And
yeah.
Obviously, wasn't an issue. I just imagined someone for whatever reason, but
Because you were bold enough to show it that they didn't want to say.
it's like checkmate.
Did you make that music, or like you personally made that music?
Yeah, like I
I'm
made
gonna go
that
back and
music
watch
on
that.
Steam. Like,
Yeah, it wasn't in the script, right?
nah, was it though?
No, it wasn't. Because I remember you made a joke about it, and then Mr. Kelly's like, just write something, and then you and I went to go shoot that. I think that was after spring break
Yeah, you're right.
when we did that, because that wasn't in our initial shot list. We just like were like, all right, let's go get some chicken wings from a calf and just go shoot it.
Oh, because we did have wings that day. What?
Yeah, we had wings. We just stole a bunch. We just stole like 10 chicken wings, and you just were eating different ones throughout the whole time.
Oh my god! Wow, that's crazy.
It was genius. I think it was fantastic.
Kelly, where's that Turkish kid?
Where's the what?
That
Oh, Osmond. No, I tried to figure out how to get Osmond, and I couldn't do it.
Osmond, that was
Osmond, bro.
I would be so stupid in high school. I'd be like, oh, guess what? I eat turkey for Thanksgiving. I was such an ass. I was like, don't know.
This is a joke you made to the kid who lived in Turkey. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I would say that to him every day. I'm like, guess what I eat on Thanksgiving? And he's like, what?
Oh, so funny, Riley.
Where's Rebecca?
Yeah, so let's have a moment for the fallen, not the fallen soldiers, but there are a couple who couldn't be here with us. Rebecca Grady, who stars in the movie as Becky. She had some other engagement, but she couldn't make it. Anna Tavan was going to be here. She was also a production assistant and did a lot of sound, but she unfortunately had to attend a lecture for her virtual classes that she couldn't get out of. And then the last one was Osman, who we were just talking about, from Turkey. I had no idea how to find him, so the alumni office didn't have an email for him, and so it just didn't happen.
He's probably an international kingpin or loan shark.
Yeah, he's definitely trading in something. Okay, so I have a couple things actually to show you throughout the night. Some messages from people who had been a part of it.
Hello, mates, fellow cast of my foreman debut. Just wrapping up another in-home workout here at my mountaintop suite. Been looking at a lot more action roles lately, but definitely ready to reprise my role as security officer number 2 in the reboot of Imperfect Score. Hopefully I can fit into the security officer's uniform and wardrobe this time. But, just looking forward to the reunion tomorrow. Definitely gonna sit down and give it a rewatch tonight. It's gonna bring back a lot of memories, and I hope you're all well. I hope you're having a good time. Peace.
He's gone on to star in every movie.
No way.
He,
He's like you're Samuel L. Jackson.
He killed it. If we didn't have that type of character as a security guard, it would have lacked for sure.
Yeah.
Because him and Spencer were like the perfect
they
one
were
and
like,
two.
that was one of the strongest scenes, I think, and it looked the best too.
It was at night. Well, since it was at night, it kind of like hid how bad
We had those good lights.
Kelly,
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember this, but when we had to go film the thing that was supposed to be like the decoy light to make it seem like a kid was smoking. When we were doing that, a security officer who was actually working that night came.
Yeah.
We were like, no, but that doesn't work.
What was his name? I was trying to remember his name.
I don't know.
Shit.
It was like Larry?
No,
no, dude, I think it was Craig.
I
Maybe.
Don't know. I spoke at like a lunch once, and everyone was like, "What?" Night people.
Yeah, no, that was great. Speaking of that, those iconic shots, I think I still like the shot that holds up the most is the shot of Spencer coming towards the camera with the flashlight, and then Colin and Rebecca running behind him to the door.
Yeah.
That's still one of the best shots I think we've done in any Foreign Makes a Movie. And I remember, Liam, you were like a big part of that. Something about it was very like you, if I'm recalling it correctly.
So you.
I'm trying to think. I think it was the light on Spencer's face you figured out a way to do somehow.
I couldn't tell you, but I am proud of that shot for sure. We did a good one.
It rules. Let's show. I got another message here for you.
Hi, my name is Jory Welshans. I was around 8 when filming The Imperfect Score, and I love the movie overall. It's very relatable to what students today deal with, having to deal with like the stress of the SATs or the SBACs. Overall, it's an amazing movie, and I played the cookie dealer in that, who was a fun character to play. I've always loved acting in theater, and it was great overall. Thank you.
That's nuts. That's nuts.
She's gonna be a freshman next year at Foreman.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wendy.
She killed it too.
Yep.
Wow.
That
Wow. Wait, so she's gonna be a freshman?
She'll be a freshman next year.
So she'll be like a star in the next film.
And we're gonna bring her back.
She's a generation.
Wow. Should it be? Are you gonna do number 2?
I'm
maybe
trying.
maybe
The
in
only
past universe.
the well, the fun thing is like all the movies do are the same universe. Like we've established that it's all at the same school. We've had like recurring characters reappear from like kids who've done it multiple times. There's like a fun mythology we've developed. So we absolutely could have her show up as. I think it'd be funny if she showed up as like a reformed convict. Like she got caught and did her time, and now she's like here to like start a new life.
Side loop to it.
That should be the
Gotta
plot.
double cross, and then she gets off.
And that's the Imperfect Score too. Is like she needs to steal something to clear her name or something because people are trying to like.
Whack a few dudes along the way.
Damn, that's such a good asset to have coming in.
Yeah. She'll be. I'm excited to have her. She wants to do it really bad too. I think she's gonna end up being like a multi-rainforest person though, considering her Welshans blood.
Right.
Riley, do you remember doing all the ADR for that scene? Like the dialogue we'd record afterwards?
Yes, I do. It was on like a little. It wasn't a microphone. It was like I don't even know.
I think the hardest part was
Mic,
just
probably.
matching the dialogue up to.
Yeah, why did we have to do that though?
I think we lost the footage or something, or it wasn't, or we didn't have the audio or something. But I remember when we were watching a rough cut of it for that scene, you just had like stock photos of people in where the voices were.
I also remember it's like I think the boiler was so loud that we couldn't use anything.
No, it was outside. It was on the outside scene.
I think we did that as well. We did some outside ADR as well.
Outside by car, where they were like hiding behind the tree outside car.
I think it was me and Rebecca that were doing a lot of the ADR.
There's the scene when Rebecca comes out of her dorm, and Colin and Cameron come up after she's been dumped. That we recorded a lot of that dialogue.
Who did she get dumped by?
Osman.
Yeah.
He left her for Sydney.
Yeah.
Keep wheeling and dealing, bro.
Sid, that was your shining moment.
Yeah, my one moment, and I forgot about it till I watched the trailer before we got on this call.
No.
I remember Osman was like, "This is my new girl." Like chewing gum. So,
Sydney's like, sup. No, Sydney's shining moment was absolutely her when she hit her stride as script supervisor, which means you're the person responsible for like reading the script during shoots, making sure everyone's on track. And I remember
always correcting me.
Yep, she was correcting.
Never get my lines correct. For whatever reason, like every time I had to say a line, I would always forget it, and Sydney would be like, "Riley, get your head."
I think the best moment was with Sydney was she was so in tune. Like she knew I was looking for the marker for the clapboard we were using to write the scenes down, and I didn't say anything. I just started looking around, and she goes, "It's in your back pocket." And I'm like, "What?" And I like reached there, and there's the marker I had been looking. She like read my mind. She was like, "I know what you want, and I know where it is." I was like,
keeping us in check,
crushing it.
I forgot about that, but now that I forgot about that.
Sydney, what do you remember from the Imperfect Score?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm having a hard time remembering a lot of it. There's been a lot of information going in my brain in the past 4 years, so I'm trying to recollect, but
Come on, you gotta.
You don't remember the best single month of your life.
Yeah, this isn't the highlight of your life. This isn't the only thing you care about you ever did.
The peak.
That Riley, you don't take the crown as the worst line rememberer though. We had a kid the next year who we had to literally feed each line individually off camera and have him repeat them. Couldn't hold anything.
I think my favorite scene was me me and Colin's scene. And I had to like I had to slam papers down. We had to redo that like 20 times.
You were slamming papers down?
It was like I was hitting a bunch of newspapers, or like I threw a bunch of books at someone.
Cookies.
That in the library?
Cookies.
Cookies.
And newspapers.
I don't know why.
No, because you slapped the binder out of Rebecca's hand.
Slapped the binder. That's what. Yeah. Okay.
That's a great scene.
It was pretty great.
Let's go around. Everyone say their Jake. What's your favorite scene? Or the most memorable one that just stands out to you the most?
I mean, it was all really. I mean, each part of it was great. My least favorite was the boiler room because of the ADR. The night stuff was so much fun with Spencer. I feel like they were all just back with the chemistry. Everyone just flowed together so well. So I just felt it was all just so easy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel like the scenes that shined really were my favorite. Like the stuff with Liam and I shooting the light, and like Riley's freak out, and Colin and I shooting the hotline bling. Like it was all just good fun.
Sydney, what was your favorite scene?
Mine definitely the cookies. I remember that day as we just could not stop laughing that throughout the whole day. Every part of those scenes of leading up to Riley throwing the cookies, and I remember cleaning up the cookies.
and over.
I just remember we were laughing so. I think I was like crying all day because I was laughing so much about. I don't even remember what, but just laughing all day.
I remember that scene in the classroom where Riley's like losing it was like a big scene with everybody, and I think it took the whole day. Yeah. And everyone was going loopy, which kind of happens when you're stuck in one spot for the whole time. So by the end of it, everyone was kind of losing it a little bit. And I think that's what you're probably remembering. Yeah, absolutely. I remember when we were shooting Katie, we were in one room for 14 hours. And I remember by the end of it, kids were like literally losing their mind. They were like talking to themselves in the corner of the room and like laying on the floor, and it can drive you mad.
Especially that boiler room. That killed a part of me.
So that's your favorite scene, Liam? You're up next.
No. I think it was probably the worst scene to film. My favorite scene was definitely Spencer and Bendon, the security guard duo.
Why?
Because I think it was really refreshing to work with two guys who like they had their lines nailed like better than anyone I think going into it, and then they just kind of like brought this energy to their two lines. That was great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like these dogs.
Yeah, Riley's feeding her dog beer. Anna, what was your favorite scene?
Definitely the cookie scene, because the cookies were everywhere. Like you'd clean up and then you'd find like a random cookie thrown in the corner.
Yeah, I think we had to do a couple takes of that if I remember.
Someone eating the cookies? Like, what was?
Remember, they were Nilla wafers.
We were eating them. We were
They were Nilla wafers. They weren't cookies.
Oh, cookies.
Nilla wafers are cookies.
I love Nilla.
Was I eating them and then just spit it in Rebecca's face? Spat in Rebecca's face or something?
You had like. You came and you had a bunch in your hand and you were like shoving a bunch of them in your mouth. And I remember because by the end you were like full and you hated that you were eating these things. But so you started doing like the Cookie Monster thing where you would like chew it but let it all crumble out of your mouth as you were eating it. Yeah. So you weren't eating them, you were just crushing them up with your mouth and then depositing them back. And I think so by the time you were throwing them at Rebecca, you just had like crumbs, like fistful of crumbs.
Yeah. I was mama birding Rebecca.
You were mama birding Rebecca. Aggressive love. Zakiya, what was your favorite scene?
I still can't get the scene out of my head when Riley's character is buying cookies from Jory. I know you guys all hate that like boiler room scene, like anything in that space because of the audio. But I don't know, that scene for some reason really sticks in my head. That and I guess the cookies being thrown later. But I like this. Riley's such a little firecracker. And so's Jory, and that like your chemistry was really heartwarming in that scene. So I find myself remembering that for some reason. Like it seems like such a small part of the movie, but that's my scene.
Yeah, she definitely was like she shined a light on the film. Jory.
Yeah. That scene too is like not what I think of when I think of the boiler scene, because that one was great. I always think of like wasn't there a ladder involved and like Riley tackles Cameron, like that was brutal.
Yes.
That was
like the best part about it is that I was completely crippled
Yeah.
throughout this entire film.
Standing. And I remember Cameron had to hit you, and like we were working out, and you were like, "Just hit me." You're like, "Just hit me."
Yeah, that's right.
No, I had to hit Rebecca.
And Cameron had to hit you.
Yeah, I got to abuse you domestically.
I thought I just hit you, Cameron. I remember that.
I think a lot of people were hitting everyone in this movie. There's a lot of hitting.
There were a lot. Colin slapped Cameron at one point too.
That's what I was gonna use for my like.
Let's jump to Colin. Colin, what's your favorite scene?
Colin, you ruined it.
There's no order here. Colin, go.
But that was legit my favorite scene. Like next to like the Hotline Bling video. What was it called? Like Chicken Bling or something like that. Whatever it was. But that scene where we were in like Bailey or something.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing a slap scene where I was slapping Cameron. Cause like low key I wanted to slap him anyway. But I kind of got like a buzz off that. You know what I mean?
Yo, what?
Off of hitting
I mean, at that time, I take
the buzz off of hitting.
Sorry, it was dope because we kept running it back. You know what I mean, and just me visualizing.
That was a fun.
Smacking his head off. That was a good one.
Do you remember whose room we shot that in?
Wait.
Blue bags.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cause you, Alex, and J-Dow lived in the same. Alex and J-Dow was
downstairs.
Right?
Or
No, they were on second floor. Yeah.
Platts. It was them and Platts and
Platts.
that other kid. What was the last kid? Hadim.
No, that was
a year before. They graduated in 2015. This was
next
That's
door
right.
was Tommy Nelson's room. We were using his bathroom and stuff.
It's a shared prefect bathroom in there.
Yeah. That's why that room works so
Tommy
well.
was a prefect?
Well, in title.
No.
in title.
Alex, what was your favorite scene?
Oh, probably the Hotline Bling thing. It was just so random and hilarious. But I also like the opening like classroom scene, just like the way it's edited. Like I don't know, it just it makes the movie very sick early on. Gets you excited for the rest.
Yeah, it's an awesome opening scene. I will stand by that. And the way it comes back to at the end when you guys are all taking the practice test and Colin starts hearing the music. Connor, you're last. What's your favorite? Oh, Connor then Cameron. Connor, what's yours?
I remember there was this wasn't my favorite in the movie, but I just remember it because we were in there all day. But it was when we had to film that classroom scene, and it was super complicated because we had to like jump around to each person, and they would talk, and it took us like I think like 8 hours to do.
Wait, can I intervene? Was that was that when we were in? Damn.
Fuck, it was. I forget. It was like
It was second floor of Williams.
Second floor of Williams. We had donuts that day and coffee because like we were burnt or something.
No, it was the first
Probably.
floor scene where we had like the scene was supposed to be like all of you guys in a classroom, and it was like quick cutting back and forth.
It was definitely second floor of Williams though.
Did I do the like when I was like everybody was talking and then I was like fuming up because everybody was talking? Was it that one?
Yeah.
And it ended up only being like a minute and a half.
You want to know what's great? You remember the coffee and donuts as like the special thing we did for you? We now have full craft services on these movies. We have like snack tables and regular coffee runs and stuff. Yeah.
Right. Excuse me.
That's outrageous.
Hey,
you just got a ghetto box of like.
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
We had the leftover food from Kelly's.
I remember being so hungry on set. Like, daily.
Dude, we wouldn't be where we are today without the sacrifices you guys made. So,
Oh man.
Cameron, you're last. What's your favorite?
The one where we had to like do all the montages for like me doing nefarious activities, and I was in like we had to shoot over and over me coming out of a garbage can.
Right.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
One of the underrated like scenes that we didn't talk about was like Cameron like pulling up his pants and like putting like when they're getting ready to go for the heist.
Oh, the suit up scene is fantastic.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, that's fire. It was like
Yeah, it needs a rewatch.
Even like the GTA kind of clothes on. That was dope.
I definitely remember. I wish I could show more of these clips on scene, but we used like music that we'd get copyrighted for, so we can't show it here exactly. But here's a question for you: if we had to rename this movie, what would you rename it? Because like, there's a part of me that wants to sell this movie as a pitch for a remake in the future, and I'm like, but we can't call it the Imperfect Score because that's a blatant sort of reference to the other ones. Like, what would we call it instead?
For like a remake, like a part 2.
Yeah, no. If we're like redoing the same movie but like better, and we need a different title, what do we call it? Snatch. What about like Ocean's 11? The best I could come up with was the history heist.
How about Took?
Not bad. Not bad.
Took is not bad either.
Oh God, I've been out of school for a while.
Cinnamon. Cinnamon.
You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, we hear you.
You get it. I think that would be nice.
History heist rings pretty nice. I don't know.
There's nothing I could like really come up with. But it's gonna be really hard to let the Imperfect Score go as a name. There's a part of me that wants to just like roll with it. Be like, yeah, you know what? We're referencing something else. Deal with it. Yeah. All right. I got.
What if it was just named like the Shoddy Heist? It's just like all right.
Like SHODDY, like it's a shoddy heist.
Yeah.
Or like intro to heisting, intro to heist something.
Heisting 101.
Did anyone see that Rick and Morty episode that came out this year?
Yeah.
Or just rips apart the format.
I know a guy.
It's like I don't know if we can ever. I'm glad that we got ours out before that. It's like, look, it still works. We're not jumping on any train here.
We got our team together.
For those who haven't seen it, Rick and Morty did an episode this year where they basically just rip apart the format of all heist movies of being like, how do we get in? I know a guy. And then they like find a guy, and there's always like 7 twists about how someone else was in on it the whole time.
Damn.
He's like, oh, I've been out of the game for you.
I will say, I like that ours doesn't do that. There's no like guy on the inside who you were expecting. It's like the teams are set up, and then it's all just a play of things that they had already set up. There's no like person being like, I lied. I'm actually on the other team.
We should have had that be Cameron.
That should have been Cameron.
But then I double trained on no one's side.
Or maybe the cookie dealer.
Oh, there you go. Alex, what did you say?
I got an idea for the title.
Oh, go.
Stolen Grades.
Ooh.
Something with grades, yeah. I like that.
Stolen. like taken. Stolen.
That's it. That's it.
Steal.
Acquired.
Acquired. It's just called acquired. All right, I got one more
Stop it.
video here from a friend.
What's up, cast? Spencer here. It's good to see you all again from quarantine, but we're surviving. To the cast of the Imperfect Score, it was a pleasure working with you guys. 5 years, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 years ago. Or was it 4 years ago? Long time ago. Very long time ago. You guys did a great job. It was a pleasure working with you. It was so much fun. Your energy was fantastic. Hope everyone's doing well and stay safe. Keep being awesome. Keep being you. Keep being you. Keep doing what you are doing. You're all on fire. You guys, amazing. Love you. See you guys.
Coffee machine.
Yes, sir.
So, how did you know Spencer?
Spencer, he's just a local. He's a friend of mine. Been a friend of mine for a while. He still works as a bartender down at the corner. And yeah, no, he's like a Jim Carrey type. And I just love throwing him in stuff when I can. And
has he been in any others since?
yes, if you guys
He lost his fingers in Katie.
haven't watched the other movies we did yet, they're all pretty great. And the one Connor joined us back for, and Anna joined us back for, Anna Tavan, was There's Something Wrong with Katie, which was like the horror comedy we did about a girl who gets possessed by a demon, like a valedictorian gets possessed by a demon. And Spencer was in that as an exorcist who comes to try and it's a fantastic scene. You guys gotta check it out.
It's probably my favorite scene of that movie.
Yeah. He just crushes it. He basically does like Jim Carrey as an exorcist, and it's pretty great. All of these on foreignmakesmovie.com. Watch today.
You gonna do like a whole box set?
The Criterion Edition box collection.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I've definitely thought about it. What'd you say?
How much do you think you could sell those for?
Probably nothing.
Do I get a cut?
Not because they're not worth anything, but because they technically belong to the school. And as long as any of them have copyrighted music in it, we can't sell it.
So the school will get all the royalties. Typical big.
Yep, I own the stories.
So, Mr. Keller, I'm telling you, I could make any track you want me to at this point. No cap.
That's honestly the best offer possible. This year was the first year where we didn't have any copyrighted music in the film. It's like the first time. It's the first time we achieved it.
Well, wait, I thought in Katie you had Topher and that other kid make like a score for it.
Well, okay, so this year wasn't the first one we had original music. We had original music in Katie. They did some really awesome creepy horror tracks, but it also had like Wonderwall in it.
Right.
So this movie, the one we did this year, was the first time that we had no previously like recorded stuff. Like, well, we made our own stuff and we used other stuff, but none of it's copyrighted. It's all like free to use, which is good. That's been the one hurdle. Okay, it's been an hour, guys.
Wow.
It's been an hour.
It's been about an hour. I am happy to keep hanging out with you, but I don't want to keep you if you need to go anywhere.
I actually do need to go.
So none of you have to hang up yet, but let's get a final. Everyone get a final word in. Say something. We'll start with Jake. Do like a final like thank you, and then tell us what you're doing. Everyone wants to know where you are, what you're doing these days.
Okay. Like, thank you guys. It was so much fun. 4 years ago was amazing. You guys all killed it. Did amazing. Here in California, just finishing up school and figuring out what I'm gonna do next. I don't know. I graduated for film. Might go in music. Management. We'll see. What's wherever. So that's what I got.
Awesome, Sydney. What about you? Speak to us.
I am not graduating yet. I transferred, so I'm only finishing my sophomore year for architecture down in Savannah. So that's what I've been up to. changed my major a few times. I finally got what I'm gonna do. Um, but I cannot believe it's already been 4 years. It feels like a lifetime ago. So thank you all for the great memories.
Heck yeah. Riley.
I want to say thank you, like everyone's saying thank you, but honestly, I mean, that movie was one of the highlights of my senior year, working with everyone, getting close. Like, we had so many crazy moments. Sorry, excuse my language. We had crazy moments where we were like about to kill each other, but at the same time, we were like, no, this is the best. This is the best. But moving on, right now I'm studying film, so thanks to Mr. Kelly, stay in school, kids. And yeah, I think I'm trying to finish. I'm working on finishing school. I'm a junior technically right now. And I don't know what my future holds, but hopefully an adventure. I guess I don't know. So.
Awesome. Cameron.
I'm out of Elon. I don't know when I'm coming back. What else do we say?
What are your plans for the immediate future?
I gotta find a job. It's not
That's a good plan.
Looking too great, but that's pretty much it. I'm done with school. I just have like a few more classes, and then I gotta go do real world things.
Real world things.
Yeah, not exciting, but
so exciting.
Nah, I know.
On a deal. Tell us what you're up to.
Freshman in college, volunteer firefighter.
Oh, that's awesome.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, pretty much it.
Are you still doing that right now?
What?
You're trying to get into that.
Trying to get into it. Got you.
Yeah. Sure. I was in one in Maine for school, and then I'm trying to get into one hometown.
Awesome.
That's what I'm waiting on.
Good luck with that. Liam, some goodbye parting words.
Parting words. Well, we definitely made the best film. Cemented the legacy.
Yes, sir.
Right now I'm a junior, about to be a senior at Syracuse, doing film as well. It's going. Ready to get out and hopefully find a real job. We'll see. Yeah.
Awesome. Alex.
I'm currently studying screenwriting at Chapman University. Got one more semester to finish up in the fall, and then I'm graduated. And Kelly was actually the one that taught me how to like the basic format and everything, and how to use screenwriting software. So you definitely played a role in that. So thank you for that. And I mean, I'm also just grateful to all of you for making sure nothing about what happened in Tucson came out.
I can't believe we made it this whole time with no Tucson jokes. It's actually.
Don't talk about that, all
right? Oh, I won't.
And audience, we're not going to give you any insight into what we're talking about at all, so just deal with that. Connor.
Yeah, that was probably the most fun winter I ever had. Yeah, I don't know, it was a lot of fun. I still look back on that pretty fondly. Watching some of the old stuff was pretty cool too, just to see that. And yeah, I don't know, it's just a good time. But and that also got me really into film after that. But right now I've started an internship in about a week. Gonna be working from home for a while until stuff calms down. So
nice.
Yeah.
Colin, you're our last one. Well, then Zakia, but Colin.
Well, yeah. No cap. I dropped out after my third semester because that wasn't for me. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that college nonsense or whatever was going on. So now I'm just doing music, real estate, and kind of just figuring out how to get rich. You know what I'm saying? And the Imperfect Score was that was a dope moment in my life, and it really came at a time where I was exploring my creative side, and I'm glad like I could do that and carry on with future endeavors. Because now like I'm really at the point when I was those 2 songs I did in that movie is not me, bro. I was gonna post it. Kelly gonna post it or whatever. That's not me. You see what I'm doing now? Not even SoundCloud, bro. I'm major right now.
Drop it.
I'm not gonna drop it. It's unreleased. I'll let you know when I drop
So
it.
but see, when you blow up, it's gonna be like one of those really awesome sort of like artifacts that your hardcore fans search for, like the early Colin Barrett.
You know what I'm saying? It's definitely something that's in the archives. But you know, I appreciate the opportunity that was given to me at that point in time. And you know, right now I'm just putting everything together to, you know, do something major.
You have to promise that one of your videos in the future is like the Imperfect Score and inspired.
Oh God, yeah, of course.
With Riley in it, and
everybody's gonna be in it.
With Cameron in it.
Same cast.
Same cast.
Same location.
Same location.
Location.
Yeah, location. That it gotta be something.
Right.
But we gonna do that for
Maybe
sure.
it should be college.
What? Shut the fuck.
Maybe stealing test or like what ACT.
Who?
Maybe that should be part 2, ACT. Or grad school, stealing the test of grad school.
You're all in college. I like this. Imperfect Score again.
We could do it in the summer.
It's a summer. Or you guys all have your first jobs and you just steal something for your first jobs out of college.
We just send you videos of it, and then you.
It's all been on cell phones. Zakia, any parting words for us?
I don't know if you guys know, but that was my first winterm experience. It was my first year at Foreman. So I really couldn't have asked for a better group of kids to work with and a more fun project. So you guys probably contributed to me deciding to stay at Foreman because of fun projects like this after my first year.
Right on.
Hell yeah.
And if I could have some parting words, it's sort of hard to explain how much this means to me. Like, I think people get tired when I'm always bragging about all these movies on like a constant basis. They're like, whatever, you make movies with teenagers. I'm like, nah, it's more than that. A, they're really good, but B, there's something like truly magical that happens in those 2 weeks when we're all like trying to figure it out. And like, it's just such an incredible program today, but like it wouldn't be anything if I didn't have like 16 kids who were willing to just go along for the ride and like take risks. So I love all of you, and thank you so much for doing that with me, and thank you so much for coming back to relive a little bit of it, really just for my benefit. I hope to see you all more in the future, and you're all doing great things. I love to see how many of you are in film. Like, it just shows how influential and like important I am, so it's really great to see that.
I'm a kind of a big deal.
We definitely gotta find a way to like get all of your work shared when it's out there, like Colin's music or Riley and Alex's writing, whatever Liam's shooting, Cameron's Instagram of him fishing, you know, all the important things, Jake's photography and all of his new production studio.
I can send you spreadsheets.
Oh my God, yes, send those. So thank you. Don't hang up yet, but I am just gonna like wrap this thing up really quick. Thank you to all of you, like the millions of viewers who are obviously watching the show. Thank you to the casting crew of the Imperfect Score. I'm sorry for those who couldn't be here. Anna, Osman, and Rebecca. Hopefully we get you out soon. And hopefully these guys will be hitting all of you up with more of their stuff in the future. So thank you guys. Really appreciate it. And I'll see the rest of you Monday as a 30-year-old man who plays Minecraft with kids, because that's my life now. Bye.